You will have moments in your life where you're just going out, living out your normal life, and bam, stuff stops, unexpected things happens, and your life takes a hit. And and this is what I mean by a crisis. This is what I mean by those unexpected situations. But listen carefully, because it's about the perspective. Yes, this crisis could be when you've been kicked out of your job, you've been expelled, a family member dies, or anything serious. But it could also be quite silly situations. A crisis could be getting caught cheating in an exam. A crisis could be, for me, when I was in third grade, I threw another friend's bottle. I threw it out of the window on purpose, and it went to the teachers, who called my parents, and I just got a few scoldings and a few hits. That's it. But that was such a stressful and traumatic experience for me. And even the traumatic experiences, it's in the perspective. It's not about the experience itself, it's about how you experience it. Actually, nothing happened. That was a silly situation. Even I can tell about it and laugh about it now. But in that moment, I experienced that intense sensations. That intense sensations of fear, of stress, of like, what am I going to do? That is a situation of crisis. And if you are going through a situation of crisis right now, or in the times in which you will inevitably go through it in the future, here are some things that I learned when dealing with the own unexpected situations that life throws at me. And the first thing you have to realize is the label that you have with crisis, with a situation of crisis, which is, it's all bad. It's the worst thing that could ever happen. But do realize, when you look back in your life, what were the moments in which there were huge amounts of growth? In which the moments in which your growth was exponential compared to the others? It will be in those moments of crisis. It will be in the situations, in the messed up situations, where you would have experienced the most growth. And also realize that if you look back on this situation from 3 years from now, no matter how messed up you think this is right now, it's going to be fine. Think back to your past situations, right? Past crisis situations, past situations where things were messed up. You felt like everything's falling apart. No matter how messed up the situation actually was, right now when you look back on it, doesn't mean you think that it's good. If you think about the situations right now, you will have them in your mind. If you think about the situations, you will still feel shit. But then maybe a part of you could be grateful about it. Because you know that situation, you wouldn't be the person who you are today if those things never happened. So find some pleasure in the pain, because these are the moments of growth. These are the moments where life shakes you apart and just forces you to grow. Are the things that happened, the crisis situations that happened 3 years before, just think about how intense those were in those times. But in the way recently right now, you would be completely fine. Even though those situations happen, that's how it's going to be. Another thing to realize here is that the default emotional reaction is going to be this state of fear and grief. For me, it was this desire to just complain and sulk and cry and sleep at how messed up the situation is. I'd have moments of fear where I would take a nap and then I would wake up sweating and with my heart beating. I wouldn't feel that much hungry at all. My weight will decrease a little bit. And something you can ask yourself in that situation is, how can I take 200% responsibility for everything that has happened? For mistakes that I did, for mistakes that others did, for everything. How can I take 200% responsibility for this situation? And go against that impulse. Of course, you can cry. Of course, you can feel grief, everything. Go against that impulse to just sulk and sit down and do nothing. Maybe put on some angry songs, one thing that you can try here is that record a video for yourself. Record a video, like talk to yourself like you're a military commander. Make a commitment with yourself, like if I'm talking to myself, I'll be like, Yuka, from now on, we are not going to tolerate the state of grief. Now on, we are not going to suck it up. We are not going to stay silent. We are not going to be in grief. We are going to take action and take responsibility. That kind of video, that kind of vibes, make that commitment with yourself. Record a video, and it's later on you will have to deal with that anger and that resentment and everything. But in the situation, that anger can help you. It can help you a lot in order to take responsibility and take action. Doesn't mean you show this to other people. A lot of the actions that you may take will be having difficult conversations with people, but doesn't mean you get angry in the situation. No, but that state of anger can be a huge help in that situation where you just want to sulk and do nothing. And when you ask yourself, what are the things that I can do, that will be a huge list of actions that you can probably take in order to take responsibility of the situation. To take responsibility doesn't mean that it has to be your fault. Even if it's someone else's fault, you have to take responsibility, because at the end, it's your life. And the list, when you see the things that you can do, it's not going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to be inspired to do all of this. It will be a little bit of that, but mostly it will be, shit, these are all the things I could do. And I really don't want to do any of them. And maybe there are some things which are easier. Some things on the list which are easier than the others. Go out and do that. For me, there will be some things in the list that now I'm making this video, some things in the list that I still haven't done. Still haven't taken action on. I still need to go out and take action on. Even the most painful moments, you can learn a lot from it. Maybe your past situations, maybe the future crisis, maybe you're in a crisis right now. What can you learn from it? In what ways did you contribute to the crisis, even subconsciously? Even some patterns of thinking, of behavior that would be repeated in your life, could be that those patterns and behaviors is what led to the crisis. And this crisis would be useful to you because it highlights the patterns and behaviors. It highlights your mistakes. Ask yourself, in what ways did you contribute to this? In what ways is it your fault? And you're doing this not to attack yourself, not to be like, I'm such an unethical person, to feel guilty. No, but you are doing this in order to take responsibility. And it is also in these situations of crisis that you get to know who are your real friends. When you mess up, when shit happens, there will be a lot of people who won't stay. But the people that do stay, those are the valuable people. The biggest thing here is to approach it on a sensation basis, where in order to grow from it, in order to deal with it, the way we usually think is through thought, right? I have to think about this. I have to think my way out of this. No. Think about it in a way. No. Feel your way through the situation. The emotional sensations. What do I mean by the sensations? Sensations is your heart beating faster. Sensations is that knot in your stomach. Sensations is your hands sweating. The emotion is the label that you put onto the sensations. Now, when you deal with the sensations and process the sensations, you're going to get through the situation so much faster, because it's on a more deeper level. And when you address the sensations, the associated thoughts will also stop running you. And even after the experience goes, even after you move on from the situation of crisis, still be open to that experience, still be open to that sensations, because here you're in a state of danger. After that, you're in a more safe space, where those things will come up, where those things that got triggered in you will come up. And what do I mean by triggered? Triggered is when your response is not according to reality. For me, when I threw that kid's bottle out of the window, worst case scenario, I was going to get hit, I was going to get scolded. That's it. My response was, I'm going to die, how am I going to do it? And your fear of public speaking. Let's take the fear of public speaking. If you put someone on the stage and we ask them to shout in the loudest voice possible, if I asked you to do that, you would be shit scared. Most of you watching this video will be shit scared. But actually, if you analyze objectively, right, what is the threat? There is no threat. The threat is people look at you weirdly. That's it. That's the realistic threat. People look at you weirdly. People don't listen to you. That's it. You feel like you're going to die. That is getting triggered. And a tool that's useful for dealing with it sensationally, for getting to the cause of these sensations, for whatever's triggered means something's getting poked at inside of you. The situation is poking something inside of you that you can go out and experience it and let go of that. And let it stop running you. And a useful tool in order to do that is some of the guided meditations that I will be posting on this channel. I'll link one here. And what this guided meditations does is that it allows you to go out to experience these sensations and stop letting it run you, and to actually move on from the situation of crisis. This is the most important part. So click on this video and I'll see you there. All the best, man. I'm rooting for you. And I'm on your side. My name is Yukash Ravan. And thank you.